Lamb, you made it. I trust the seas were favorable?
Poseidon might be the only one not trying to kill me.
And did you go to Thera? Did you find him?
Not yet.
You should. The answers to many of your questions are there. Your father would be proud to see how you've grown.
For now, let's deal with what needs to be done here.
I never imagined we'd stand on Spartan soil together again.
I don't know how to feel. I spent some of the happiest days of my life here. And some of the worst, too.
Sparta is our home. But we'll have to rid ourselves of the Puppet King if we are ever to find peace.
Whatever happened to our old house?
Nikolaos stayed after I left, but now that he's gone, I don't know.
Why don't we go find out?
Of course. But first, there's something I want to show you. This is where I first trained you to use your spear.
Hesitation only hastens the grave.
You remembered.
How do you think I got this far?
We had to pry that spear from your hand while you slept. You said you needed it to fight the monsters in your dreams.
I couldn't face Cerberus empty-handed. Those children will be ripped to shreds. We should help them.
Cassandra, wait! You mustn't interfere. This is Spartan training territory. The agoge is what turns boys into men. Interfering would only weaken them, weaken Sparta.
They're no good to Sparta if we leave them to die.
And they're no good to Sparta if they're too weak to kill a wolf. Come. Let's go home.
This was the first and last place I ever felt safe.
As soon as you were old enough to hold a spear, you trained in this yard from morning till night.
Nikolaos was a tough teacher to please.
He hid his pride from you. But every night he would tell me, she's going to bring glory to Sparta.
As much as I hate him for what he did, I wouldn't be who I am today without his training.
My heart broke that day. But for the first time in ages, standing here with you, I truly believe it can mend again.
Me too.
Do you remember the first time you held your brother?
I was scared I'd break him. I piled every blanket and pillow we had around me.
Even then, you held him so tight, I thought you would squeeze the life out of him.
He turned out stronger than we thought.
The gods must be playing tricks on my eyes.
Good to see you, Brasidas. It's been a long time since I rescued you from the warehouse fire in Corinth.
That's not how I remember it.
You look well, Brasidas.
The rumors were true. You're alive!
Many we thought to be dead are still breathing.
When I heard the two of you came home,
We're in Sparta, but we're not home yet.
We want our house back, Brasidas.
Sparta claimed your estate after Nikolaos' disappearance. They're waiting for his adopted son to claim it. But he hasn't returned from the war.
Stentor? I knew I should have killed him on the beach. Sparta can't just take our home.
They can. They did. And if you want it back, you'll have to convince the kings, which won't be easy.
Why not?
As happy as I am to see you, the kings won't be. Especially Archidamos. Your exit from Sparta wasn't exactly graceful.
He can't still be mad I broke his nose.
You what?
In any case, he hasn't forgotten. but I have an idea that might help him forgive.
Tell us.
Spartan soldiers have been giving weapons to the Ilotes. Whoever takes care of these traitors will earn his thanks.
Why on earth would Spartan soldiers be helping Ilotes?
Ilotes greatly outnumber Spartan citizens, but they're leaderless, mostly farmhands, servants, and apprentices. If someone unified them, armed them, and trained them, they'd be a real threat to Sparta.
But you said it was Spartans who were arming them.
All the more reason to deal with this quickly. You find out why the Ilotes are being armed, and you'll have the king's attention.
So, I find the soldiers. Then what?
Spartans are loyal to their commander. Take him out, and the rest should disperse.
And the weapons?
Destroy them. The Ilotes have caused enough trouble with shovels and sickles. The last thing Sparta needs right now is them carrying swords.
Where will I find these Spartans?
They were last spotted in the Gorani marble quarry, in the forest of Eurotas.
So, to get our house back, I must take out the Spartan commander responsible for inciting a useless rebellion. Sounds easy enough.
Find me in the throne room when it's done.
And where will you be?
This is where I raised you. It's also where Leonidas raised me. I'm going to visit his tomb just beyond the estate. You should pay your respects too before you get started.
I'll try. Grandfather was a true hero. Maybe one day they'll sculpt a statue of me.
Leonidas. He was Sparta's last true hero. We'd all be under the yoke of the Persian Empire if it wasn't for his courage. The same blood courses through your veins.
So, our blood is the blood of kings.
You are so much more than a mercenary. You carry the blood of heroes, blood of power. Remember what I told you?
That people would try to take that power for themselves.
And then you promised.
I wouldn't let them.
Hold out your spear.
All of this talk of the Pythia, I do not care what she says.
Enough! We have grown tired of your insolent tongue. Sparta will not go to war. The Pythia has spoken.
Pythia says what you tell her to say. She has been your puppet for far too long. The time has come to cut her strings.
Oh, Leonidas, the days of heroes are over. You think your blood makes you special? If we opened your veins, it would spill to the ground and disappear through the cracks. You are no one.
You are more than welcome to find out.
Your fate is sealed, son of the lion. Xerxes will unite us. He will bring order to chaos.
Defy the Pythia and everyone you love. Everything you stand for will perish.
Gather the men.
My king?
Xerxes wants Sparta. He'll have to go through me.
Incredible! Now, do you understand?
What must I do?
It's time we embrace our destiny. Both of us. If we don't stop the cult before it's too late, then all Leonidas fought and died for was for nothing. Our bloodline has risen to those who would enslave us.
It's time we rise again.
Well, well, well. Mother and daughter united in Sparta at last. And look at you, goddesses among mortals.
King Pausanias, we're honored. I was sorry to hear about your father.
Yes, Our fathers would have been proud to see us here today.
You remember Cassandra, my king?
Who could forget? The girl who died to save her brother. Such a tragedy. An innocent child put to death because of an ancient, merciless law.
Two innocent children were put to their deaths that day.
Cassandra, enough. Apologies, my king. She's been away from Sparta for a long time.
You both have. This one has fired like her mother. In any case, Sparta was weakened by losing you both.
We're examples of why these laws must change.
Oh, I agree. But King Archidamos, if he could carve Spartan law across the chests of every citizen, he would.
I've spent my whole life looking over my shoulder. If Sparta is to be my home again, I'd rather it be a peaceful one.
Peace at what cost? When Spartans aren't killing, they're training to kill. And when they're not killing Athenians, they're declaring war on their own people. But we're not here to talk about the dead, are we?
We know Sparta reclaimed our house after what happened to my father in Megaris. We want it back.
Mind your tongue, child. You may not live in Sparta anymore, but I'm still your king.
We graciously request an audience with you and King Archidamos to discuss reinstating our citizenship and reclaiming our home.
Of course. There's nothing I'd want more. Archidamos, however, still hasn't forgiven you for the whole nose incident.
What can we do to sway him?
There's rumor of a Hilot rebellion, and the Kryptia are stoking the flames. Savagely killing Hilots, stealing livestock, and leaving corpses to rot in the streets.
The Kryptia represents Sparta's ultimate achievement in military training. Their discipline and fearlessness make Sparta's army the most feared in the world.
Once. But the Kryptia have become corrupt and bloodthirsty. And training boys to kill unarmed peasants is nothing to be proud of. Do you want your home back or not? Good. So the Ilots will no longer support the senseless slaughtering of their people.
Is there anything I should know about King Archidamos?
Traditional, brutal, boring. Archidamos values the old ways over the welfare of his people. He sided with the elders that day on Mount Taygetos.
If killing Kryptia will get our home back, I'll do it.
Listen up! I'm only going to say this once.
They take everything from us. They treat us
Everyone shut up, or you eat steel! I'd be more than happy to bash your teeth in if you don't settle down!
We beg your mercy. We beg for justice. Night and day we slave for Sparta. They take everything from us. They treat us worse than dogs. They kill us without reason. We can't live like this. God, we pray to you. We beg your mercy. We beg for justice.
I should watch my step around here.
Listen up, you dogs! Some of you seem to think that because you were born in Laconia, you have the right to live in Laconia.
My goat is older than him, but he talks like he's a king. He kills our men, steals our chickens, and everyone's terrified.
You're allowed to live on the condition you produce for the Spartan army.
Spartans fear you more than you fear them. But they're trained soldiers. We're just farmers.
He's one. You're many. Let's start a riot, shall we?
Lately, production has been horse shit.
Watch this. Your face looks like horseshit!
What are you doing?
Told you. Starting a riot.
You think I want to be here? I'd rather be in Sparta, fighting or fucking.
You couldn't fight or fuck your way out of a grain sack!
It's working!
Sparta gives you everything! Land, protection from your enemies.
Sparta is our enemy!
Yes!
Sparta is the enemy!
Sparta is the real enemy!
Who dared speak when I'm speaking?
The killing of Ilotes ends now! You are one, we are many! You are one, we are many! Down with the Cryptia!
Just die! To the dead!